All right, we are at a good spot here where we are able to upload videos and store them in a local temporary disk. And the next thing we want to do is process the videos, convert them, whether they're from MP4 or whatever format they were uploaded in. We want to convert them to an HLS format, so HTTP live streaming format, and push them to DigitalOcean spaces, okay? So to do that, we are going to be using a library called FFmpeg, and that is a generic library. It's not really made for the web. It's something you install on your computer, and you can process videos even outside of a web application. Now, if you go to ffmpeg.org, you will see the instructions for installing FFmpeg for your operating system. In this case, we are working on a Mac, and in a Mac, you can actually just do brew install ffmpeg, and that will install the whole thing. Otherwise, you can just go to the static build, download the file as a zip, and when you unzip it, it comes with an executable that you can use, and this is the executable that you can upload to your path and have access to it. So you can use the portable or this executable version, or you just use brew install to get it set up. Again, if you're also working on Windows, you can follow the instructions here to get your Windows version installed. Now, all you need to do once you get that installed is make sure that the package is globally accessible. So in my case, I should be able to type ffmpeg, for instance, and see where it is installed. In my case, I installed it using Homebrew, and that is where the file is located. You also have ffprop, which comes together with the ffmpeg, and these two packages should be showing up on your terminal, and they should be globally accessible. So again, we are not going to waste time going through the documentation here, but just go and follow the instructions on the FFmpeg website and install it for your operating system. And make sure that if you come to your terminal and you do FFmpeg, you can actually see a command, or at least the list of commands that you can do with this package. Because what we are doing is we're going to install a Laravel package from Proton Media, and this is an amazing package. And this package will allow us run the process for converting videos using the FFmpeg package that you install, okay? So install the FFmpeg application, and then we should go ahead and install this package. So look at the documentation here. By the way, while I'm here, you might want to look at the Laravel split, which is developed by the same Proton Media guys. And I think it's an amazing package. I tried it myself, and that's a side note. But while we're here, you can just look at the documentation. It says this package can help you. With this package, we can do conversions of videos, and it is tightly integrated with Laravel's file system, so we can easily save videos to different locations. It also supports building HTTP live streaming files, which is what we are going to do. And it allows us to encrypt the videos, which is really important and really nice. It allows us to save the videos in this format, but also encrypt them, which means that we have some privacy in our videos, so that unless you have the encryption files for those videos, even if you download them, you'll not be able to do anything with it, okay? So it allows us to encrypt the videos, and there's tons of other functionalities here. You can add watermarks to your videos. You can extract thumbnails from videos by targeting specific frames and all whatnot. So this is really an amazing package. To test that your FFmpeg is working, copy the command here to just test the version. So FFmpeg version, and you should see the version show up, or at least a bunch of different things show up. But the version that I'm using here is version 6.0. So if you have that working and you're able to see the version of your FFmpeg package, then you are ready to install the Laravel implementation. So let's copy this and run the install composer require pb media Laravel FFmpeg. And we're just going to install that. And while that is installing, let's look at what else we need to do here. So add the service provider and facade to your app if you're not using package discovery. In this case, I'm using package discovery, so I'm not going to add the provider or the alias to my app config. And let's publish the configuration file, and that will help us set the path to where we have our FFmpeg installed. So publish the configuration, and here let's open the configuration file and see what we have in there. So Laravel FFmpeg, and you see that in here we have variables for where the FFmpeg binaries are. Okay, in my case I'll just leave it like this because my application, I installed FFmpeg globally, so I will have access to it just by running this command. If you don't have access to it globally, or you put it in a subfolder, for instance, if you downloaded the executable for Mac and you put it on your user directory, then you have to provide the directory where it is located here. So maybe it's located in home, or maybe in user, local, bin, for instance, and FFmpeg. So wherever you have the file stored, that is where you'd put it here. But for me, again, because I have it globally installed, I can run it from anywhere in my terminal. I'll just leave that to FFmpeg. Same for the ffprop. If you don't have it globally accessible, then you can provide the path where you have it saved in here. And we are not going to be changing anything in the configuration, quite frankly. We're just going to leave it the way it is because it does work for my use case. Now, we'll basically be dispatching a job in here to handle the file upload for us. So to handle the video processing in the back end. And so to do that, we need to set a job driver or a queue driver for the application. And I am going to be using the database queue driver here. So all my queues will be running in the database. So let's go to .env and scroll up to where you have queue driver. So queue connection, it says sync, which means that your queues, well, things are not being queued, they'll be processed and the user will have to wait for it to finish. But in our case, I want to set queue connection to database. And for this to work in Laravel, of course, we have to publish the jobs table by running the command php artisan queue table. So that should publish a new migration called jobs. And we have two migrations related to jobs now. So we have the jobs migration, and this is where all the jobs will be saved. And Laravel by default comes with the failed jobs table, which is where the jobs that fail will be pushed. So in this case, we have the jobs table and we can migrate that. So php artisan migrate, and that should create the jobs table for us. So let's generate the job or the job class that we are going to use to handle our upload process. So over here in the terminal, I'm going to do php artisan make job. And I'm going to call this process video job. Okay, so this job will be responsible for processing our videos. And in my upload action here, I can dispatch that job. So here we just do dispatch new process video job, and we are going to pass the video to that job. Okay, so if we come to app jobs, we should see the process video job, and here we are passing the video to the job. So everything that we do now will be in the job. So we mentioned that we're passing the video to this job class. So let's accept that here in the constructor, and we're going to use promoted properties here by just doing public video. Okay, so over here we are passing a video and we are accepting the video in this class. Let's see, I think we need to import this. If it's, yeah, it wasn't imported, so we import that, and we're accepting that in the constructor of the job. Now, a few things I want to set here to configure my job. In fact, I can get rid of some of these comments. Is I want to set the maximum number of exceptions that the job is allowed to have before it fails. So in here, we can say public max exceptions equals 3. So if I process this job, no matter how many times I try the job, if I encounter up to 3 exceptions, we'll automatically fail the job, okay? We'll kill the job. We don't want to keep trying to do it. Then let's just assume that we want to try a job more than once. So we want to try a job twice before we mark it as failed. Then you can set a property called tries, and let's say we're trying it 2 times. But if we say we're trying it 2 times and we set the max exceptions here to 1, for instance, then if it encounters 1 exception, it will automatically kill the job regardless of the number of tries we specified in there, okay? So let's just say if it has up to 3 exceptions or up to 2 exceptions, it should fail. Well, this is just an illustration. And we can also specify how much time it should wait before retrying a job in seconds. So if we want to say between tries, it should wait 5 seconds or 10 seconds, we can set that property here. So public, that property is called backoff equals 10, for instance. So this will tell Laravel that it should try the job 2 times, but it should wait 10 seconds between tries. So if it fails the first time, it should wait 10 seconds before it does a try again. And you can actually set an array here of numbers. So you can say 2, for instance, 4, 6. And what will happen is if you specified here that you want it to run 3 times, then it will wait 2 seconds after the first try, 4 seconds after the second try, 5 seconds after the third try. So you can also do that. In this case, I'm just going to set it to 10 and say you should try it twice. Now, the max exceptions and the tries here, well, it doesn't really make sense at this point because if you have 2 exceptions, it will fail anyway since we only have 2 tries. But that's just an illustration for the kinds of things that you can do in a job. Let's scroll down to the handle method, and this is where we are going to be handling the process of video conversion. The first thing I want to do is when I start processing a video, I want to start by updating the video record and change the status to processing, because as it is now, the video is saved in the status of uploaded. We don't have any yet, but the default value for a video that is newly created is uploaded. So when I start processing the video, I want to first of all change the status to processing. So I'll update the video by just doing this, video, update, and the status will be video status processing. Again, video status coming from our enum, and we have these 4 options. So I'm going to set it to processing before we start processing the video, okay? Then we are going to do a couple of things here. We want to get the extension that the video will be saved in for streaming, and that is stored in our config, site, extensions, and the stream key, okay? So in our config file, we did say that the extension should be in HLS format, which is .m3u8, okay? So that is the value we are pulling out here. Then I also want to get the video from the temporary disk, okay? So the video is currently saved in a temporary disk, and I want to pull that video out and load it in FFmpeg. And we're going to use a method that comes with the FFmpeg package. So FFmpeg, which is the package we installed, and we can call a class there. In fact, let's import this, and the import here should be the Proton Media Laravel FFmpeg support, FFmpeg. So we are going to call a method from that class called FromDisk, okay? Which means it expects to get the disk that we want to open the video from. And the disk is saved in the video record under the temp disk column. So from disk, so this video temp disk. So whatever the temp disk was, we did save that as part of the video record so we can pull that information from there. And then we also want to call the open method. And again, these are methods from this package. So we want to open the video and provide the path where the video is saved. And the path is also part of the video record that we save in the database. So this video temp path. Okay. So we are telling this package to open the video from this disk, and the video is saved under this path. Okay. All right. So now that we have the video, it becomes an FFmpeg object. So we can do things with it that are specified or defined in the FFmpeg package. The first thing I want to do is grab the duration of the video. And the package provides us with a way to get the video duration. And this is simply to do video get duration in seconds. And that's it. So this method returns the duration of the video in seconds. Then the next thing is, once we get a duration, we want to update the video record or the lecture with the duration, because the lecture expects to have a duration in seconds. Okay. So if I look for the lecture and look at the structure, we see that it expects the duration in minutes. So we've grabbed the duration in seconds here, and I want to update that lecture with the minutes duration. So to do that, we just do this video lecture. Remember, this is referring to the video that we have passed on in the constructor. So we can access the lecture for that video by simply doing this video lecture, and we call update. And if you don't want to do any database operations here, you can move the updates here to separate actions and do what you want. But for now, I'll just keep it in the job itself. So this video lecture update, and what we want to update is duration in minutes. And the duration is in minutes is simply the duration that we get back from here divided by 60. Okay, because what we get from here is in seconds, so we divide that by 60 to get a duration in minutes.